Hello all, welcome to a new video, a new module. Today we're going to discuss about a module called Lateral Thinking. We're going to discuss about a wonderful and efficient person by name Dr. Edward Devereux. Dr. Edward Devereux's Lateral Thinking. Thinking that is out of the box. What is lateral thinking? Lateral thinking is a series of format tools designed to improve creative thinking abilities in everyone. It can be used to solve problems individuals couldn't solve or organizations could not solve. It also otherwise creates new innovative solutions for organizations, and it fully utilizes the assets companies already have, especially the mind of managers and employees, where they can bring up with creativity strongly. Lateral thinking is about reasoning that is not immediately obvious. Lateral thinking is ideas that may not be obtainable by using traditional step-by-step logic. A new idea that is a result of lateral thinking is not always a helpful one. But when a good idea is discovered in this way, it is usually obvious in hindsight. It is not known, but that out-of-the-box thinking is what is going to bring in a stronger solution for problems that could not have been solved otherwise. Lateral thinking. Let's understand a small concept. How do you clothe every morning? I'm very sure you follow a routine. If a person wanted to put on a 9 piece of clothing in a different order each time, they have 362,880 different possible combinations. If they could spend 1 minute putting on each combination, it would take them 69 years to try every possible combination. Just imagine 1 day of clothing and every 1 minute of change, how many years this is wanting it to be. Welcome to lateral thinking. If your brain doesn't filter information and categorize it, we would not be able to function at all, because it would be called as an overload. An overload of information can completely shut down the decision-making ability of a human brain. Everyone can think of a time when they didn't know what to because there were so many options in them. Yet, the brain has developed the ability to handle such information overload. It develops connections between points of information and therefore avoids information overload. Sometimes it is beautiful to forget. In a world of endless choices, businesses desperately need to differentiate themselves from their competitors. Businesses need to differentiate themselves in order to sell their commodities with many choices available, standing out in the harder than ever possible way. Thus, in order to get ahead of competition, many constantly innovate and create new ideas. In selling cars, it is not enough to offer a powerful vehicle with full acceleration. It is important that you have to create an image of luxury. Those with mere perks need not have an entry into the market, because car makers need to do more and their vehicles will still go unnoticed if they have not done anything great, and it will remain in the parking lot of their organization. Companies desperately need creative people to come up with new ideas that will make the must-have product as the best product. Are humans really creative? The answer is no. A self-organizing system of the brain guides human along with well-established thoughts of trail of thoughts. Now here, it is not about natural creative. It is about understanding how we can become creative. Companies are desperate for creative brain power. They need to remain competitive in this competitive world to have an edge over their rivals or competitors. Now, in this enormous challenge, finding people with ability to come up with great creative ideas is definitely a bigger challenge. This is because the human brain is designed as non-creative. In a world of endless choices and constant inflow of information, the self-organizing power of brain is essential for continuous functioning. Unfortunately, this makes it very difficult for the brain to exit well-established trains of thoughts and come up with new ideas always. As a result, it's easy for people to think of new ideas and solutions that already exist. Completely new, innovative and directions are easy to overlook. Because the brain is basically naturally non-creative and trained to be non-creative, people typically only think along well-established trains of thoughts. Just as it's difficult while driving to see hidden roads, especially if one doesn't know that they are there. It is also very difficult to see unexpected ideas and opportunities. Thus, they are often overlooked. Meaning to say, the base of the brain holds the idea, but it is often overlooked because it is hidden. We are not aware, like how the roads are hidden when we don't know the path that we have taken. Many believe that creativity can be attained simply through freeing people from their inhibitions. Yet simply freeing a person from inhibition does not mean that they can have the capacity of being creative. Nor does it mean they consistently come up with new ideas that have the potential to be used. Because of all the training that people go through as youngsters, as children, many of them have fantastic way of creative and freeing the mind. But to the immense, retake of slide 10. Retake, slide 10. Because of all the training that people go through in their young lives as children, many think that a fantastic way to be creative is to free the mind and immerse it into new surroundings and experience. A person who's tied cannot play a violin. At the same time, if he's untied, doesn't mean that he can really play a violin. Now, it is also shown about it that no longer he is prevented from trying. He can still try, but doesn't mean that he will definitely play. A bird in a cage cannot fly. However, if the cage is opened, that doesn't mean that the bird can naturally fly or soar in the sky. Some birds like penguin and ostrich never fly because they're physically not fit to fly. In the same way, people may not be physically able to create when they're set free. Either because their brains have been so trained to be linear, so even when they do not know how, they can't do it. Also, simply freeing the mind doesn't mean that the ideas generated will be useful. A group of people may have fantastic time generating great creative sessions, but when they individually sit back and see, they'll understand that almost none of them are usable. Sometimes innovative ideas need not be put into action because it remains as an idea and unfortunately it is not something which is functional. Freeing yourself doesn't mean that you can be creative. Thinking and managing creative ways is how you can get more creative. The 6 thinking hats, a lateral thinking strategy by Dr. Edward Devino. The 6 hats: blue, white, red, yellow, black and green. Each of the hat represents different thoughts. The blue represents process. White represents facts. Red represents emotions. Yellow represents optimism. Black represents risk. And green represents creativity. Continuing the 6 thinking hats. Many successful people think from a rational point of view. Positive point of view. This is a part of the reason that they are successful. Often though, they may fail to look at the problem from an emotional, intuitive, creative or negative point of view. This means that they underestimate resistance to plan, to fail, to creative leaps and do not make essential contingency plans. This way, they fall very badly. We have examples in today's world to see about how when they did not see that emotional and creative negative point of view, they fell down and was very difficult for them to raise up again. Similarly, pessimists may be excessively defensive and more emotional people may fail to look at decisions calmly and rationally. If you look at a problem with 6 thinking hats technique, then you will solve it using approaches. Your decision and plan will mix ambitions, skills in execution, public sensitivity, creativity and good contingency planning. The first, white hat, represents facts. With this thinking, you focus on the data available. Look at the information you already have and see what you can learn from them. Look for gaps in your knowledge, shots or breaks that you had in your knowledge, and either try to fill them or take them into account when you're thinking on creative levels. This is where you analyze past strengths and try to extrapolate from the historical data available to put it into existing plans. Red hat, emotions. Wearing the red hat, you look at problems using intuitions, gut reactions and emotion. Also try to think how other people will react emotionally. Try to understand the response of people who do not fully know your reasoning capacities. Black hat, risk. Using black hat thinking, look at the bad points of the decision. Look at it cautiously and defensively. Try to see why it might not work. This is an important thing because it highlights the weak points in a plan. It allows you to eliminate them and alternate them or prepare contingency plan to counter them. Continuing with black hat strategy. Black hat thinking helps make you plan tougher and more resilient. It also helps you to spot fatal flaws and risks before you embark on a course of action. Black hat thinking is one of the real benefits of this technique. Many successful people got used to this thinking positively, then often they cannot see the problem in advance. This leaves them unprepared for difficulties. Yellow hat, optimism. The yellow hat helps you think positively. It is an optimistic viewpoint that helps you to see all the benefits of the decision and the value in it. Yellow hat thinking helps you to keep going when everything looks gloomy and difficult. Green hat, creativity. Green hat stands for creativity. This is where you can develop creative solutions to a problem. It is freewheeling way of thinking and in which there is little criticism of ideas. In many countries, people speak about that they want to don this hat while they are discussing agendas with their bosses. It is known in Japan, where it is naturally not great or correct to speak to your boss. People come up with the idea to speak about it that they want to put on a particular hat wherein they're sending a message to the boss telling about it. They want to change or come up with a contingency plan. Blue hat stands for process. Blue hat stands for process control. This is a hat owned by people when chairing meetings. When they have to put it in a particular way and a process has to be followed, this is when blue hat techniques come into existence. When running into difficulties because of ideas running dry, they may direct active into green hat thinking because green hat thinking is creativity. When contingency plans are needed, they will ask for a blue hat thinking and black hat thinking because blue hat will give processes, black hat will do risk management. I hope you enjoyed understanding lateral thinking. There are many lateral thinking puzzles that you can see online and some more will be added into our course. Enroll for all the videos to help you to be an able professional, crack interviews and get your desired jobs. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much. I wish you all the best.